Hi everybody, I'm that girl Goddess, and I'm gonna talk about diabetes. It's a monster nowadays. So many people, I don't care what nationality you have, is struggling with it. And I'm gonna talk about even my journey. I was diagnosed pre-diabetic, and then one day it shot up real high, and I'm still at that range sometimes at pre-diabetic at like 160, my blood sugar. And I tell people to overcome it takes a lot of discipline, but you can overcome it. It's proper diet. You're gonna have to let go a lot of sugar. You're gonna have to become a veggie person for a while. You're gonna have to eliminate a lot of carbs. I mean, I tell people you can maybe eat some potatoes once a week and maybe a bowl of rice once a week. But if you snack on ramen noodles every day, you're gonna have to let that go. You're gonna have to have some lettuce sandwiches where you put lettuce with the meat in between the lettuce with your mayo or mustard and tomatoes, and you're gonna have to eat it like that. You're gonna have to eliminate some bread, not just change it from white bread to wheat bread. I mean, you're gonna really have to make some hard choices for a while because you got to change everything around. One of the most important things after you control your diet and eliminate a lot of carbs, a lot of sugar, um, sweets. Even though you have those different sweet, sugar substitutes, some of them just they use other things to be sweet that's just as harmful as sugar. You're really gonna have to focus on eliminating a lot of sugar. That means giving up snacks like cookies, cakes, sweet bread, sugar toast, um, even pancakes, waffles, because it's carbs. It's still bread. I tell people don't even set yourself up because a lot of people are like, well, I'll eat this and then I'll get on the exercise machine or I'm going to run or I'm going to do some exercise. Sometimes if you haven't already completed your exercise, your certain workout slot, it's best. I mean, I'm going to tell you, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to visit it back. If you have a set time where you go in and do your exercises and stuff, most of the time, if you don't need it, that commitment, excuse me, you're not going to go back and exercise. I tell people stop lying to yourself. Stop saying, well, I didn't get up and do my 30 minutes or my half an hour, my hour, and say, I'm going to do it later. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to do it later. It takes a lot of effort to discipline yourself to put in the exercise. Yes, you are going to have to do some high cardio. You're going to have to burn a lot of fat, old fat that was there that's stored that turned into sugar. Okay? You're going to have to come off a lot of sugary drinks and drink water. And I tell people, even if you have a good diet, you're going to have to push out there and exercise while you have a clean diet. It takes a lot because people fail to realize it may have taken your whole life to develop pre-diabetes or diabetes, and they want to have an overnight cure. The overnight cure is a changed lifestyle, change eating habits, change how you exercise, how you put in, burn energy. Um, it's a combination of even using medication until you get things under control. And you have to do things because I tell people, don't mess around and get on insulin. You have people that have eating disorders and they eat a whole lot of food and then purge themselves and they look thin, but their health is failing in so many areas. All that crashing on some sugar and binging it, your body gets confused and it don't send all the certain signals you want sent because it has this, the physical body really don't have a brain. Okay, it can you can take a sugar substitute and all these cakes, pies, you using sugar substitute. The thing about diabetes is it don't discriminate. You still gonna have to eliminate a great portion of salt, sugar, some salt. You're gonna have to take extra vitamins, get your nutrients in where you're deficient, because you're gonna need that vitamin A, you're gonna need that omega-3 oil, fatty oil. You're gonna need several vitamins, actually. It's a whole lot. You probably have to use some chia seeds or some flax seeds, ground flaxseed seed, and put in your food because it helps metabolize that sugar in your body. You know, you're going to drink a lot of water because you're flushing old stuff away that's in your system. You're going to have to set a bit, because your body do things when it's deficient in one area, it pull on other stuff. You say, I ain't eating the cakes and pies anymore, but you're eating carbs, pancakes, waffle, you eating corn and other high carbs, even bananas. It could be a natural sweetener, but your body is not going to take it down like that. What it's going to say when your body, once you digest it, eat it, and it digested, all it's going to signal off is sugar. A sweet taste a lot of times confuses the body. And when you're trying to overcome it, it's best not to indulge in a lot of stuff. Grits, corn muffin, cornbread, hot dog buns, hamburger buns, white bread, period. Oh, excuse me. Okay, use a lot of the breads they said is okay for you to eat is, like whole grain, wheat. They have other grains of bread. You can read it, and trust me, I done seen bread that was like 5 calories. It costs a lot more money, but it's not 70 calories. You are gonna have to get on the calories, and if you're overweight, you're gonna have to. The $2,000 calorie daily diet is not gonna work for you. You're gonna have to go down to 1,500. You're gonna have to eliminate sugar. Even certain sweets, like bananas and stuff, you're going to have to put down a lot of stuff. Because one, you're going to have to break a sugar addiction. And you can't do it overnight. I tell people, get in a habit, eliminate this. Then I seen myself go to eating potato chips. Ain't nothing potatoes. It's still carbs. And I was psyching myself out. Like, I don't eat nothing sweet. Yes, you do. Potato chips. It's still got the sugar and it's not sweet, but it's still carbs, which is sugar, which turns into fat. All that binge eating, I changed a lot of stuff I was eating, but I know I have a lot more work to do. I'm not eating cake and cupcakes. Most of the time, I'm not eating no cookies. Oh, excuse me. But I have a bad habit of potato chips. I like to snack. Pretzels, popcorn, all of that. When you're trying to overcome, you're going to have to get rid of that. You're going to have to get you some green vegetables, some broccoli, some Brussels sprouts, some cabbage, some collards, turnip greens. You're going to have to eat things that's a lot of fiber too. And no matter what anybody tell you, you're still going to have to put in from 30 minutes to an hour exercise every day. Plenty of water. According to your weight and size, they have apps that can tell you what you need. But on the average, most people, at least of average height, needs at least a gallon of water a day, especially in the summer. You know, we gonna have to pay attention, because I tell people we all gonna get older one day or old one day. But that don't mean because you hit 60, you're old, or 62, 67, the retirement age, whatever. That don't mean you're old. See, if you was a person who always ate clean, exercised, wasn't on drugs and alcohol, you know, took your vitamins, ate well-balanced meals, you're gonna be, and you're putting the exercise in, even with your muscle training, with weights and stuff. I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna be your body's physically is a lot younger than a lot of people your age. You know, I may not be in 60s or range or anything like that, but 40ish, you know, I'm in my 40s. But at the same time, I'm gonna tell everybody, look, I have always been an athlete. I predominantly ate clean. I used to be vegetarian for years. I used to didn't do sweets really at all. Okay. And I have always been active. You know, walk 2 or 3 miles, power walk, probably jogs 6 blocks, walk the other 6 blocks, you know. I have always exercised, did put in a lot of stretching. I do a lot of reading. I try to stay out of stressful situations, because high stress in itself can age you. People don't understand that. You're drinking, liquor ain't nothing but sugar. Okay? Dust can damage your kidneys, your liver. You know, you got to flush the body, because it will affect your liver and your kidneys, your colon. Your body have to get rid of that stuff. So you need fiber. You need vegetables. I see a lot of people, and they don't understand, because I always tell people, you know, when you get about 30, it's like you're going to wake up and everything as you knew it is going to completely change. When you hit 45, there's another change. I think people every 15 years, when you turn 15, you're this close to becoming an adult. That's when you're going to have to start purging your life. Setting boundaries, because you're finna about come out of childhood, adolescence, well, not teenagehood, into adulthood. That means at 15, you know, you need to go get you that summer job. You got to learn how to save money, open up your bank account, go out there and get your state ID, even as a child. You need to go out and know how to fill out paperwork, talk to people, hire up older people. You know, that's your playing field to help get you established for being an adult. You know, you got to learn, even when you get your money. Your parents don't have to charge you rent, but you can turn around and say, well, I'm going to take out $300 a month out of my check and just set it aside for 6 months and see how hard it is. Know the importance of putting money away, saving. And trust me, strange things can happen. You can have your plan, and you can be disciplined, and then all of a sudden you can get one of them floods that came in from like North Carolina, hurricanes, tsunamis, and you can lose everything overnight, and your nest egg is taken away. You could have just paid your rent, or better yet, put in first and last month rent and security, and the flood came and overthrew your house. Okay? We don't always foresee the things that's going to fight us. And to get your blessings, you want to put stuff in, because God going to have you learn about different disorders or diseases that you may have. And He going to teach you, you can do natural remedies, hospital, commercial medication. And you got to recognize the hospital wasn't called to cure your disorders or diseases. It was called to treat them, minimize the symptoms of it. But when you really want to be delivered or overcome something, ask them about what your diet, your level of exercise, eliminate drinking, smoking, getting high, all the extracurricular activity. You know, you want to get up. And I hear people say, well, I cut off of work. I'm too tired to do this and that. Part of overcoming the worst of things and being successful is to be an overachiever. You can't do anything to your body, eat restaurant food all day, and then get 30 years old and wonder why your body's falling apart. It takes a lot of maintenance to maintain the human body. And you have to establish set times and guidelines when you're going to take your vitamin. I tell people I have my phone is alarm on it. Bing! At this time I know to take some vitamins. Okay? And I make myself even right. Lately, I decided this thing was with my house. Instead of trying to complete everything in one day, what I do is, and then sometimes working 2 jobs, you come home, you tired, you may take a shower and you falling out. I tell people I have a day where I'm going to clean my living room. I have a day that I'm spiritually going to cleanse my floors. I have a day where I'm going to do some yard work. I haven't kept up my yard work in this last month because it had been raining so much that as soon as I had the lawn did and everything, it was less than a week. I had weeds that had shot up beyond the length of my ankle, almost to my knee, in 1 week. Spent all that money to get the lawn did, and boom. I'm going to have to maintain and set aside God's time. Reading the word, failing you not to assemble yourself. I tell people I set boundaries. I can go to church, but set boundaries on how far I'm gonna go in any area. If I go to church, I'm coming home. It's not about having the dinner. It doesn't mean I'm mad, but I have to I'm trying to think of a good word to say. I'm gonna learn how to maximize my energy for the best results. That's what I'm going to have to do. And that's a lot of work. People don't see how much work it is, because you can go in and say, well, I'm going to clean the front room and this and this and this, and I have this did, and the laundry, and that's when the child come home, fell on the ground, and got to come out of their school clothes, put on something, and find out they have chronic diarrhea, and you're going to have to use that washing machine, but you're going to have an extra $25 on your bill. It's easy to say, oh, I'm going to put regular wattage in my lamps, until you get that bill. You got to discipline yourself in every area. I mean, even coming home to cleanse your body. You're going to set that time aside. And that's what we're going to be working on. We're going to be working on the human body. I'm asking a lot of people that do come to my page this, okay, let's go on this health journey together. Eliminating sugar. Okay? I'm going to have days where I get up here and want everybody to join in on certain fasts and everything. And yes, I am a prophetess, but God don't give me a word every day. But he also told me he don't give nobody a word every day. You know, of course, the Holy Spirit within us, if we're in this word, it will minister to us. Having the Holy Spirit minister to us is different from a word. God can release a word to me and don't release me to go forth and put it out. Okay. So I'm gonna try to, even when I say I'm just gonna post 4 times a week or 5 times a week, I try to discipline myself. And I don't know, the craziest things happen to me. So I know I gotta break off different spirits and stagnations and limited limits that people pray into your life too. You got to watch the signs. You got to be focused. And like I said, I got to start setting my phone and say, okay, it's time to make a video. But between 2 jobs and trying to respect the jobs, for the most part, I know I'm going to put some discipline and make videos in between some things and be committed. But I'm asking everybody else too, let's get committed about our body. We only have one. It's a temple for the Holy Spirit to dwell or demons to dwell in. We're going to set some things aside, and everybody's focused on who's a narcissist and who's not a baddie, and who trying to date somebody just so they can have an experience they can't afford, and not like these men don't know. I got to discipline myself, even being in love. I tell people, you have to discipline yourself, because you'll find yourself being intimate with people, and the next thing you know, y'all break up and another one come in, and that relationship may last 3 years, this one 4, but in the end, you'll find out that you done entertained 50 people being involved with. You got a price to pay for everybody you are involved with. Don't sound so pleasant now, because it's going to be some work. You're going to have to make up on your mind, because everybody don't want a player, and that's why you can't keep relationships a lot of times, because most people are looking for a partner, a life partner, spouse. They're not looking for a bunch of foolishness. I tell people, look, I don't need nobody to use my body like a toilet. I need what's honorable. I need what's going to walk with me. I need what's going to help push me into the things that I desire to do, and get my plans that God has given to me and myself, and get projects done. But in the most part lately, I've been making sure I'm like, okay, what time did I take some medication? What time I have to have the second dosage in my system? And I have to set my alarm. And it's like, okay, drop everything, get this did. Get this did. But we all got to do it. So let's get on this life journey, overcome these diabetes. Let's do it. That's all I can say. Let's do it. Y'all be blessed. Turn others on to my page, please. Okay, like, share, and subscribe. And let's be blessed. Bye.